I was very concerned with everyone I saw having a fortune cookie and reading their fortune and believing it. And the one that I got before the game was a great story is about to unfold. And that's what we saw. It might as well have said, Mike McDonald, you dog you with this master plan of what he was able to do. I wish it had said that because that's what it was and that's what it's been all season. So here's some of my notes. Here's some of the things that I think we do have Jason McCourty joining the show, and Hamilton, of course, we'll be breaking this down all week. We're here all week. We're on the show all week. There's so many moments y'all missed from Super Bowl, from the insane guests we have. We're going to comb through them and put them on and put them out and put you on to what that was. But this was like masterful, I think is the word that I would use to describe it, even as I sat there. It was masterful game planning. It was masterful patience. It was masterful temperament, masterful roster to begin
Awesome.
with. It might not have been, sorry, Ham, they have your mic up still. Well, it might not have been like the most fun Super Bowl ever. Incredible, masterful performance. And here's my takeaways, okay? Talked to Hamilton about this morning. We didn't tag. Hamilton and I, for maybe the first game in 12 years, did not text once during the game. We just sat, we enjoyed it, we caught up on it at 5 a.m. like two friends do. The win was so masterfully dominant, okay? Let's use that. And it cements this 2025 Seahawks as what I said was on the table for them, one of the greatest teams in the history of the National Football League. And I'm not blowing them up. I'm not going overboard, guys. I'm not overwhelming them or like being hyperbolic. We've talked about this on the show the past couple of weeks. From a historical perspective, numbers do matter. They finished it off on the biggest stage. All three phases of the game, offense came up big on every play. You know, even with the Pats pretty much, I mean, the Pats did a good job of handling JSN and taking him out of the game. The defense, the chirping in the suites, I was bopping around, was just, this defense is so good. This Seahawks defense is so good. What are they going to do? Smothering. I mean, scoring touchdowns on their own. The special teams, brilliant. Jason Myers drilling 5 field goals. Maybe not the sexiness that you want to see in a Super Bowl. Certainly, I like a high-scoring game. You know, Michael Dixon downing a couple punts inside the 10. It was like that football-y stuff that those football junkies love. It was a beatdown on every level. And I showed you this before the NFC Championship game. And as a Seahawk this morning, I'll show it to you again. The 29-13 win locks this in. We talked about, I thought it would be a closer scoring game. Maybe I was just like wanting it to be, right? But the Seahawks now, the 6th team in the Super Bowl era to average over 29 points per game while allowing fewer than 17 a game in a single season. The other 5 are the greatest show on frickin' turf. The Favre Reggie White Packers, the Montana era Niners, own building. That must have sucked to watch the confetti fall yesterday. I get it. 1991 Washington team, as you're seeing with Gibbs and Darryl Green and co. And these are the most legendary teams to ever do it. And now that is where we leave the 2025 Seahawks. They belong in that. That is their lore. My next takeaway from the Seahawks win, and everybody kind of had this right. Kenneth Walker, just loved seeing every second of it. Truly one of the greatest. I mean, if you're talking like grand scheme and landscape of playoff runs, I put Kenneth in that family. Wouldn't you guys? He is about to get broken off. Like, and I'm just going to cheers with by the way, San Francisco has these special Starbucks cups. I love them. Cheers to him. He's about to get paid. He's about to get paid, okay? He is set to hit free agency at the perfect age of 25. And if you take a look at this, K9's 135 rushing yards, the most in a Super Bowl since TD almost 30 years ago. He had 161 yards, top 10 all time, tied with Super Bowl legends Matt Snell and Lynn Swann. And that's the most we've seen in a game since Isaac Bruce in 1999. Bruce, okay? 94 rushing yards in the first half. That was the most since Timmy Smith, nearly 40 years ago. I don't know much about Timmy Smith, but he beat him. Kenneth Walker is now one of these legends, okay? One of these legends. If you look at the numbers, the performance, and I think Hamilton, it's a nice little check written from our overlords to people, because a lot of people saw that coming, took the over, and we're reaping the rewards. Cheers to anybody who hit the overs on Kenneth Walker yesterday, right?
Yeah, we learned last week that was the most bet prop, his combined rushing and receiving yards, and he absolutely crushed that. So won a lot of people money.
Can you tell I hung out in the Overlord suite for a hot sec? I did. Yeah, so welcome to Super Bowl status, FanDuel Sportsbook check writing status, to everybody cashing in on that, and then him cashing in on what will be a big. I mean, Hamilton, is he going to leave? He's not going to leave, right?
I I don't think John Schneider can let him out of that building after that. We saw how important he is, and at 25 too, got a lot of good years left in him. They got to break him off,
Do you
and they have the
think?
money to do it. They have like 73 mil in cap space heading into this off season, so they can
I
make it
didn't
happen.
see. I didn't see Mr. Schneider. What was his vibe yesterday? What was that? I didn't see any of the
I
antics. What
mean,
happened?
just what you would expect from him, soaking it all in. You know, I mean, this was legendary status for him too. If you think about it, I think he's the
A
third GM
lobster?
ever to win multiple Super Bowls with two different quarterbacks. So pretty damn impressive.
Pretty darn impressive. Okay, yeah, John Schneider, you got to break him off. I don't know what that means for Charbonnet or whatever, but we can't let him even like. I don't want to have one little rumor about him like getting close to hitting the market or any of that. That's your boy. Okay, a takeaway. Shall we discuss the Patriots? Sure. They were outclassed in like all of the ways you could possibly be outclassed. Now, outclassed is like a kind of a that's a tough word, but it's true. We cannot sit here and talk about how the 2025 Seahawks are one of the greatest teams in NFL history without. I want to give them that lore, but it's not that they deserved to be there. I think like every team in the AFC would have looked like that yesterday. That's just the vibe that I think me and a lot of fans do have if you're actually looking in the mirror and being honest with yourselves. This this they're not frauds. I'm hearing a lot of that. I'm getting a lot of like, hey, you said they were good. They are a great team. Okay, they were a great team. And this isn't an excuse the Patriots' performance by any means. They could not protect Drake. And the few times they were able, what did he get sacked? Like six? Hamilton, what did he get sacked? Like six times?
Six times.
And yeah, oof. He, he did not have it. And they couldn't protect him. He just didn't, even just like the nonverbals, the vibe, even from where I was sitting way up, like, he didn't have it, but they were not close to good enough to protecting him. But I don't think that this takes away from what their season was, which was an unmitigated like masterclass in success. If you were a New England fan, because you were rebuilding, and here you are, year one of Vrabel, year two of Drake, by every measure. Like this is a story. How can you not root for this kind of a story? If it wasn't associated with the Patriots, you'd be eating it up out there. It's about as dramatic of a turnaround in NFL history from one season to the next that you can imagine. It's what teams like Chicago dream about with a new quarterback and new leadership. It's like what we saw with the Bengals on their run to a Super Bowl and a loss. Now, granted, the Bengals have not been back. So it's an interesting case study to be looking at, and these like very specific moves that Patriots must make to ensure that they're seen as contenders going into next season. Things did not break their way; things broke their way during the season. I understand the schedule conversation. I understand the things that they took advantage of with the rest of the AFC looking as it did. But Elliott Wolf and Vrabel now know what they need to address this offseason. I'm like a little weebly wobbly on them. They've got like $42 million to spend. I have to see what they do. They got to beef up the O line. I know that. I think they know that. They maybe need to shuffle some things around. Little Will Campbell situation looked weird yesterday and throughout the season, really. They got to add a real, they got to add somebody for Drake. They got to make a couple changes, a couple ads there. And they have the money, they have the capital. And I believe that Wolf with 1L can do it. You've got 2 more years with Drake on this deal. That's why you really, if you're someone who's I'm just curious to see what Jason says about this. The pressure's on for you to make very specific moves in this very little window to sort of see if you can get back there again and cash in on that.